Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating and, honestly, puzzling questions in the world of competitive sports. Why is it that in elite chess, the queen is by far the most powerful piece on the board, but the kings still seem to rule the game?
I mean, think about it. It's a real paradox, right? This is a game of pure intellect. Physical strength means absolutely nothing. And yet, when you look at the top ranks, it's been a man's world for, well, pretty much all of history.
And I'm not just talking about a small gap. Get this, fewer than 1% of all grandmasters, that's the highest title you can get in chess, are women. That's not a gap, that's a chasm. So what in the world is going on here?
To really try and understand this, we're going to follow the journeys of the two greatest female players of our time. And what's so interesting is that their choices, their whole philosophies really, sparked this huge debate about what it actually takes for a woman to conquer the chess world.
Okay, so let's jump in with the undisputed GOAT, the greatest female player of all time, Judit Polgár. She didn't just break barriers, she completely shattered them.
Polgár's whole approach, which was instilled in her by her parents, was kind of radical, but also super simple. If you want to be the best, you have to play against the best, period. She famously refused to play in women-only tournaments because she felt they would just hold her back.
And this incredible focus led to a career that is just, well, staggering. She became a grandmaster younger than the legendary Bobby Fischer. She was the only woman ever to break into the world's top 10 players. Oh, and along the way, she beat 11 current or former world champions, including the one and only Garry Kasparov.
And this is the crucial part. From the time she was a little kid, the goal was never women's world champion. Nope, the goal was just world champion. Her progress was measured against the highest possible level of chess, with no asterisks and no exceptions.
All right, so that's one path. Now let's switch gears and talk about the current #1 female player in the world, Yifan. She was a prodigy, just like Polgár, but she ended up making a dramatically different choice.
See, how Yifan had this immense talent. We're talking about a level that former world champion Vladimir Kramnik said was on par with the greatest prodigies in history. But, and this is a big but, she made a conscious choice not to follow Polgár's all-or-nothing approach to the game.
And this little story about her time with Kramnik, it just says everything. He comes to her with his grueling championship-level training plan, 10 hours a day, every day. And her response? She asked for a day off each week. It just perfectly shows that she valued balance over that all-consuming grind you need to reach the absolute top.
And her list of accomplishments is just mind-blowing, but it tells a very different story from Polgár's. Yeah, she was a 4-time women's world champion, but at the same time, she was getting degrees from Peking University and Oxford, and eventually became the youngest ever full professor at Shenzhen University. For her, success wasn't just on the chessboard. It was about her entire life.
So you have these incredible stories of Polgár and Yifan, right? But they are still the exceptions. So to understand why, we have to kind of zoom out and look at the huge challenges that pretty much every other female player has to face.
First off, there's just the culture. This stereotype that chess is a guy thing is still so deeply ingrained. For young girls, that can mean you're the only girl in the chess club. You feel this constant pressure to prove you belong. You just don't have that same social network that keeps the boys in the game. It's this subtle but constant headwind that makes a lot of talented girls just walk away.
And then you have the system itself. With fewer girls playing, there are fewer dedicated programs for them. And the money? The money is drastically different. Just to give you an idea, the prize for the main world championship is often 4 times bigger than the prize for the women's world championship. That makes trying to have a professional career so much harder for women.
Okay, so we've laid out some pretty serious challenges. The big question is, what's being done to change the board for the next generation of female players?
Well, if you look at the all-time peak ratings, you can really see it. Judit Polgár is just in a league of her own, a real testament to her unique path. And while you have a new generation of amazing players at the top of the women's game, like Kaneru Humpy and Aleksandra Goryachkina, that big rating gap to the overall world top 10, it's still there.
But the good news is, people are starting to make new moves. The World Chess Federation, FIDE, is actually tackling these things head-on. They've got a year of Woman in Chess to boost numbers. They even started this project called Chess Mom to provide childcare at big events, which is a brilliant solution to a very real problem that's held back a lot of players.
So, all of this brings us to a final question. The paths of Judit Polgár and Yifan give us 2 really powerful models for greatness.
But will the next woman who truly challenges for the overall world championship title come from Polgar's path of intense dedication, or Hao's model of a balanced life? Or will she come from a completely new path, one that's been paved by a more inclusive and supportive chess world for everybody? The game is set.